Would you like to learn which blockbuster cult community meme coins have the potential to 100 to 1000x your money between now and the beginning of 2026? I'm going to be ranking the following meme coins for their multiplier potential between 5x to 1000x. Meme coins, as you can see from this brown line, have been the best performing assets in the cryptocurrency market. Meme coins are the only category in cryptocurrency where you can make pure generational wealth. And only in meme coins have you got this potential to turn a couple of $100 into potentially millions of dollars. So what are the potential big hitters in this list of meme coins? My name's the Suppoman, your superhero of 100 to 1000x gems. I have called the all-time best multipliers on YouTube. My best ever multiplier being a meme coin, so I know what I'm talking about. So if you love content like this, make sure you smash a like on this video and subscribe so you never miss out when I make one of my generational wealth calls. In this market cycle alone, I have turned $63,000 into $7.5 million, and half of the coins in this list are meme coins. So this truly is the asset class where you can transform a couple of $100 into generational wealth if you make the right buy. The most popular meme coin influencer is Murad. Murad provides a method and a philosophy behind investing in meme coins, which is stop trading and believe in something. What he believes is that meme coins that are cult community meme coins have the potential to make the best multipliers in cryptocurrency. Why? Because they allow you to believe in something. And when there's an initial batch of holders who believe, then it allows the community to compound on itself and grow and grow. As a result, the market cap grows. Now, where I come into the equation is a lot of the cryptocurrencies that Murad talks about are extremely high in market cap. The blueprint provided by Murad's method and apply them to meme coins that are severely undervalued. As usual, nothing I say is to be construed as financial advice. Crypto is largely unregulated and high risk, and people who invest should be prepared to lose all their money. And everything I say to you in this video is for informational and educational purposes only. Dogecoin is considered the Bitcoin of the meme coin category. This is the original cryptocurrency. It was created in 2013. But when it came into real prominence was in 2021, when Elon put on his Twitter that he was the CEO of Doge. And as a result of that created the meme coin mania that we have today. Dogecoin was created on this Shiba Inu called Kabosu. And Kabosu was a meme that was very present in kind of Reddit communities and online forums. And it became a coin that was never intended to have any utility. It was just meant to be a pure joke. Even the person that created it, Billy Marcus, he actually sold all of his Dogecoin. So he never intended it for it to be the powerhouse that it is today. Having had the big Elon pump that it had in 2021, it's never refound that form. It's gotten close when we had Donald Trump coming into power, once again going up to near 50 cents. Now, I do personally believe that on an assumption that we do have the 4-year cycle blow off top at the end of 2025, beginning of 2026, that we will be seeing an all-time high for Doge. I believe Doge has got the potential to go beyond $1. So I would say that Doge won't quite do a 10x, but I think it will breach $1. Trump is the official Donald Trump meme coin, and it came out on Solana just before he was inaugurated as president. Now, nobody knows if it was actually officially created by Trump. However, he's also not disproved it. So that makes me believe that actually the most powerful person in the world has created their own meme coin. Now, Trump did initially go up to about $73. So it is down now near 90% from its all-time high. Now, Donald Trump, being a pro-cryptocurrency president, a person that has vowed to make America a very crypto-friendly country, a person that has created the strategic Bitcoin and strategic crypto reserve, has his own coin, which you have potential exposure to. And any news that involves Donald Trump, and he is very current at the moment with his tariffs, and over the course of the whole bull market, I imagine he is going to stay very relevant. He has basically absorbed all of the Trump meme coins, they are all pretty much completely irrelevant now. Like MAGA, Super Trump, Donald Trump, all of those coins. There were tons and tons of Donald Trump coins. This is now the one that is king of them all. And it's presently a $1.7 billion market cap with a fully diluted value of $9 billion, making it one of the most valuable meme coins that exists today. Now, I personally think that this coin could do a 10x just simply because it absorbs all of Donald Trump news. Anything pertaining to Donald Trump is going to be reflected in the Donald Trump coin. And I imagine that as this market gets going, that this could get severe momentum. And I believe this will go to its old all-time high. Shiba Inu is basically the Ethereum of the meme coin market, where Doge is number one, Shiba is number two. And Shiba is a derivative of Doge because Doge is based on a Shiba Inu dog. So Shiba Inu encapsulates the breed behind the entire meme coin category. And this was one of the best performing assets of all time in the top 5 assets. Somebody turned $8,000 into $5 billion with Shiba Inu. A real success story. And many were investing in it for the same kind of fortune. Now, I personally believe that from where Shiba Inu is right now, Shiba Inu has reached a high of 42 billion in the past. Now, I don't think that Shiba Inu has any more got that appeal to the retail investor. This was so talked about in the last bull market, but I don't think it's got that momentum anymore. When you think of meme coins, you don't think of Shiba Inu anymore. Now, I personally think that Shiba Inu will struggle to do a 5x. Pepe is this market's Shiba Inu. This has been the millionaire maker for early investors. And it has reached a very high market cap, relative to where Shiba Inu is right now. It's not too far behind. A market cap of 3.5 billion, I still think that this has got life left in it. This is the equivalent of where Shiba Inu was at the tail end of the last bull cycle. It still made a decent multiplier towards the end. How high it could go? Well, I personally think that Pepe has got the potential to be one of the highest market cap cryptocurrencies that exists. When you're looking at the last bull market, some gaming coins went to 1 billion. And Pepe, which is basically the Shiba of this cycle, I think that there is the likelihood of Pepe doing a 10x in this market. It seems reasonable, for this to go to near $40 billion. And looking at the analysis that Murad has done on Pepe, showing it's a very sticky community. There is a high percentage of $10,000 hodlers, despite the fact this has got hundreds of thousands, nearly millions of holders. Right, so this shows us a very, very sticky community. SPX is arguably the coin of Murad. So where he has coined this phrase of believing in something, where he has laid his hat is on SPX 6900. Right? Now, this is a very cult community meme coin, right? So this is a kind of middle finger up to the traditional financial market, as acknowledged by the fact that it is SPX and then 69. So it's basically a fun, gimmicky take on a traditional asset class. And as you can see through a lot of the different news items here and all of the kind of anti-establishment writing, this is meant to be seen as a kind of counterculture to the traditional financial market. And that's why he believes that this is something that resonates as a cult cryptocurrency. Those who are in cryptocurrency see cryptocurrency as a more progressive asset class than stocks. So therefore, that's why he sees this as a traditional cult meme coin. Where SPX is at $500 million in market cap, I believe that SPX, he thinks that SPX could be one of the first $100 billion coins, which would make it 200x from here. Now, I do not share this. I personally think that, SPX 6900 has already made a gigantic 355x already. So to make another 100x on top of a 355x, I just don't see that particular momentum. I can understand why he believes it's got that cult community vibe, but I don't believe that it has got enough momentum to make it make anywhere near a 100x. If this didn't have Murad talking about it a lot, and him being one of the figureheads in cryptocurrency, I would say this wouldn't even 5x. But I would say that, given that this hadn't dipped so dramatically, unlike everything else in the meme coin market. I would say there's a lot of strength in this. It's certainly got a very, very sticky community as per Murad. Look, it's got over 9% of 10k plus hodlers amongst its hodl community. And that's just showing you that people are holding, you know, to potentially become, you know, multi-millionaires, billionaires. So I can see that just based on how sticky the community is, I could see this could go to a 20x. Fartcoin appears to adhere to the traditional meaning of meme coins, which is that it's a pure joke, like there's no real utility. As it says here, Fartcoin is a cryptocurrency that allows users to submit fart jokes or memes to claim initial tokens. It also features a gas fee system where each transaction produces a digital fart sound. It's a little bit like Popcat, but onomatopoeic. Now, Fartcoin is a $1 billion cryptocurrency. It's probably the one that has bounced back the most as a meme coin after all this tariff war stuff happened. You know, this hit a bottom and then it very, very quickly rose. Like it took absolutely no time. And again, you know, drawing on Murad's philosophy on stickiness, you know, this is what's going to lead to cult cryptocurrencies outperforming everything, outperforming, you know, most of the top layer ones, RWA, AI coins, everything. I can see through the metrics this has got stickiness. You know, where you've got SPX at 9%, you've got Fartcoin with near 5%. Okay, so it's quite clearly in second place, you know, well above everything else. So this has just got a kind of supernatural stickiness. And as a result of that, again, you know, I can see this being one of the main plays for anybody getting into, you know, cryptocurrencies when the, you know, when the big retail come in, when the dumb retail come in, during the kind of blow off top and euphoria phases. So I could see that Fartcoin, I could see this doing a 10x, possibly even a 20x. Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, 10 Inu is just a pure joke. Right? This is just a pure novelty. It's got Bitcoin as the ticker, and it's just got a ton of different names all kind of piled together to create nonsense. And as a result, it's just kind of stuck. Again, one of the most sticky coins in cryptocurrency. But I mean, if you look at the website, I mean, it's just a load of nonsense. You know, it's It's just weird. It's just purely weird. All right? Not affiliated with Harry Potter, Obama, or Sega. Anyone should realize this. Yeah, it's just a kind of joke cryptocurrency through and through. Just a pure meme. So you can't argue with the fact that this does have a very sticky community. When there's a meme coin season, likely to be having Murad and a lot of the top meme coin evangelists talking about Harry Potter, Sonic Inu. I would not be surprised if this one, just purely based on the market cap actually, because a lot of the cryptocurrencies I've so far talked about are either in the billions or very, very late hundreds of millions. And this one is a pure 58 million. The amount of hodlers that it's got, that this one has got potential to build upon itself. But again, I don't really see this making mega life-changing money. Brett is a character that is closely affiliated with Pepe. So Pepe is part of the wider boys club, and the second main character in the wider boys club is arguably Brett. This has gone to over $1 billion in market cap, and where it presently sits is 363 million. Now, what the unique selling point of Brett is that this is on the Base blockchain. Brett is a blue character. Base is the blue chain. Brett's home is arguably best on Base. Now, another reason why this has got real hard pumpermentals is because of who keeps promoting it. And that is Crash. So Crash's Clay, one of the big meme coin callers in this bull market, he has made a huge amount of money in this bull market, primarily through Brett. And because he keeps talking about Brett and basically bringing more and more people over to Brett, it's not on a saturated chain. It's not on ETH. It's not on Solana, it's on Base, right? Which is an area that is underdeveloped in terms of a meme coin community. So this absorbs a lot of the liquidity that's going on Base. And also, where he foresees a lot of the value coming for Brett is in the millions of users that are going to be coming via Coinbase. Coinbase whenever I talk to anybody newly getting into cryptocurrency, the two apps they use are either Coinbase or Binance. So there is absolutely no doubt there is going to be a heavy amount of adoption, whether it's this cycle or the next, into Coinbase. And as a result, Brett has a strong chance of making decent multipliers. Brett has got the potential to do a 20x. Apu is a meme coin that has been popularized really because of Murad. You know, Murad does put a lot of these kind of infographics in front of people. And seeing as though he's got nearly 1 million followers on Twitter, a lot of people are seeing Apu. Now, Apu at the moment is a $54 million market cap. Now, if we have a look, it's basically a kind of derivative of Pepe. It's on ETH, which means that, you know, this one is on the kind of hodlers chain. Solana is more a Jeets chain, and ETH is more a hodlers chain. So you are less likely to have people just cheating, dumping the coin. Again, it's got a relatively sticky percentage terms in terms of the amount of hodlers that have over $10,000. So to me, this looks like it's just Pepe with a different name. It doesn't have any real originality. You know, I don't understand why they would basically make the same character as Pepe. I don't understand. Maybe it's, you know, my ignorance in the whole thing. But I don't really get the point of Apu, right? So, yeah, it doesn't really say anything other than the fact that it's a community-driven kind of meme coin. You know, and that's fine. You know, what Murad's whole philosophy is that the reason why cult community meme coins are so important is because it's a community where people feel loved, people feel included, people feel on like a journey together with a bunch of other people to becoming rich, right? So they are kind of united by a philosophy. And that philosophy is meant to be encapsulated by the meme coin that they're investing in. So that's why they've got a lot of, you know, the kind of Murad keywords here. Apu, lovingly called helper, isn't just a meme. It's a universal symbol of love and friendship recognized by millions. It's there trying to convey a sense of community. You know, love, you know, people that join the community are also kind of, you know, peace-loving people. I don't know. This isn't cryptocurrency in my opinion. That doesn't really amount to what cryptocurrency is about. People aren't loving in cryptocurrency. So I don't see the point of this. It's got a quite low market cap, you know, relative to, you know, these guys. But at the same time, I don't see anything that's special about it. I would say purely on Murad, probably could do a 10x, go to 500 million, but I don't really see it, you know, doing much more than that. You know, I don't really see it doing much more than a 5x. GigaChad is without a doubt clearly a cult community meme coin. All right, this is for the kind of Chad, the fitness people out there, you know, the kind of alpha male people out there. You know, like the likes of, you know, Mike Tyson, Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, the real kind of power strong men out there is who it appeals to. And again, they're kind of making a whole lifestyle around it, you know, headband, performance hat, hoodie, you know, performance socks and things like that. So, yeah, you can tell by, you know, the logo of GigaChad that it's all about kind of just alpha male, male energy, that kind of thing, right? And, you know, the people in cryptocurrency, I see this 100% appealing to people in cryptocurrency because, you know, regardless of whether they are Chads or not, they probably think they're Chads. And, you know, it's a community of people who are just kind of, you know, probably boisterous, you know, men's men, right? I'm a holder of Chad. I love it. I think it's a great cult community. I personally feel part of it. I'm not even a kind of fitness person. Well, I kind of am a fitness person. You wouldn't think it, but I am a fitness person. And I do love the kind of philosophy behind GigaChad. Also, this is probably the second most shilled cryptocurrency, you know, by Murad, right? And I've heard Alex Becker and Elio Trades talking about Giga as well. You know, when they're adding coins to their portfolio, they do kind of like GigaChad. So I would say that GigaChad, based on its market cap of $177 million, you know, what Murad says is he believes this is going to go to the hundreds of billions. Potentially. I personally think GigaChad could be a 50x. I do think that from where it's dropped to, I think it's got the potential to really fly because I think this is more of a human and relatable cult community than some of the others. You know, Sonic Inu, Fartcoin, Apu, SPX just doesn't really, they don't really float my boat. And at the end of the day, 95% of people in cryptocurrency presently are male. Bonk was the original meme coin on Solana. And you can tell by the colors and the dog that is used that this is meant to reflect a Shiba Inu. But a Shiba Inu on Solana blockchain rather than on Ethereum. All right. Now, this was one of my 100Xs actually in the past cycle. You know, I called it around about down here and it ended up making a 100X actually very quickly. It has come down kind of 4X. So this drop is not actually as seismic as it seems. You know, it's only gone down kind of, 75-80%. Right? So I would say that Bonk, people love Bonk. It's a very well recognized name. I think dogs are kind of on the way out. As much as I think that dogs and animals are the best type of meme coin, because anybody can kind of relate to them. You know, when dumb retail come in, they're not going to care for SPX 6900. What they're going to think about is they're going to be thinking about, what do they relate to? If they've got dogs, they've got cats, they're going to love buying those coins. However, I don't think it has the momentum that it had in the past. I do still think that Bonk, maybe could go to a 10x. I don't think much more than that. All will retire. To me, I think this is the ultimate cult community cryptocurrency because this encapsulates what crypto is all about. Building a retirement fund, believing in an end goal, which retirement is it, right? People don't care about blockchain, layer 2s, ZK snarks, consensus, multi-chain. People just do not care about that, not at the core. Ultimately, everybody's goal in cryptocurrency is to fund their retirement, is to retire with enough money that they can retire themselves and potentially their partners, their parents, generations to come afterwards. All right? And that's what All Will Retire is all about, building your financial future. Like, this to me is the ultimate embodiment of what crypto is about. This is the ultimate cult community. And I think this is one of the best opportunities that exists today at a mere 3.8 million. You're seeing something like Sonic Obama, Harry Potter Inu at like 60 million that doesn't really encapture any of the spirit in cryptocurrency. It's just kind of nonsense. Whereas All Will Retire is very clear, it's very clean, it's very obvious, right? This is what crypto is all about, right? And it's all of these individuals. This graphic here is precisely what Murad talks about in terms of a community coming together, feeling loved, feeling part of each other, talking to each other. All of these guys, putting this I will retire, we will retire, all will retire. This is what Murad talked about to a T. Now, I have done my own personal research using Murad's metrics, okay? So what he looks at are the amount of $10,000 hodlers that are kind of there as a base community. And as you can see here, this is one of the highest, okay? So you have got, firstly, SPX, then you've got Fartcoin and Pepe, and then you have got All Will Retire. And All Will Retire is up there with Giga, which I also think is very, very strong. It beats the likes of Mog, Sigma, Mu, Whiff, Trump. This has got, way more stickiness. Okay, so this is the stickiness metric. This is the decentralization metric. Okay, so this is the spread across hodlers. Right, so what you don't want is a concentration with a single hodler having most of the supply, because that can lead to the coin dumping super hard. And that is one of the big problems with Trump, for instance. It's such a large portion of the supply is owned by one entity. And that can cause this to dump super quick, and probably is a reason why it did dump super quick. All right, so what I love about All Will Retire is it's got the exact metrics that Murad looks for. It's got the stickiness, it's got the decentralization, but at the heart of it, it's also got one of the smallest market caps. Okay, this has got the ability to run super hard to make a massive multiplier. And like I said, they got a merch store, and it's not a surprise that Murad actually follows All Will Retire. So I don't know if he's got a bag in it. What I can tell you is via the metrics that I've been looking at, which is exactly what Murad looks at. Like, he basically adds and changes this list all the time. And I believe that the reason he added this to this list is because he foresaw this had that stickiness. So, he was seeing the metrics early on. And I think it's only grown since then. And as a result of that, I think that All Will Retire, I think this has just got super potential. It's basically SPX 6900, but in a more relatable, easier to understand way. Less anti-establishment, less nonsense and noisy. This one's just more clear, it's more understandable, and you just know what the goal is. And everybody within the community, like I said, are all part of that goal, all striving for that goal. I actually think that all will retire. I think this one could be one of the biggest of all of them. Even from a 3.8 million market cap, I think that this one could even go to 1000X. Just purely because look at SPX. This is a $1 billion cryptocurrency that doesn't even present or appear anywhere near as clearly and as appealingly to the typical dumb retail investor. The lifestyle of retiring and being anti-establishment and using crypto for that ultimate end goal. So as a result of that, I think that this likely is going to be the biggest multiplier on this list. Kaiiken is a breed of Japanese Inu dog. There were 6 breeds, and in the last bull market, 5 of those breeds were actually released as a cryptocurrency coin, and all went way beyond 300 million, one of which went to 91 billion. So that's just showing you that these Japanese Inus are extremely bullish. Now, Kaiiken is the last Inu. That's what it is known as. The last Inu, because it was the only one that wasn't released in the last bull market. And in this bull market, it has been released. And now people can actually exploit the potential profit-making opportunity from Kaiiken. Now, this doesn't have Inu in its name, like all of the others. Having said that, look at the artwork. It's very much like Flocky. And Flocky is one of the most popular meme coins of all time. So they have incorporated a lot of that artwork. It's an extremely low market cap. $612,000. That is literally nothing. Like, in terms of the market cap this has gotten to a $14 million market cap. And actually, when this first came out, it's not quite captured on here. This went even higher than that. This was a mega multiplier when this released, right? Now, although since it's released, quite a few kind of cultural meme coins have come out that aren't the traditional animal meme coins, right? I still think that at the end of the day, people identify with dogs, people are looking for another Shiba Inu story, and at $612,000, that is a mega opportunity to make life-changing money. I mean, when Shiba Inu made a 500,000X, when it made that, it was a 55k market cap. So basically, 10x more than this. So it's still got the potential to make tens of thousands of X, potentially. Right? Now, it won't necessarily make that because the people behind Kaiiken are not insiders. They're not the same people that were behind Shiba Inu and pushing Shiba Inu. It's not in that league of cryptocurrency, the one that's got institutional money, it's got TradFi money in it. No, this is really a community-based coin. It was made by the community, for the community, and that community is very present. Something that I have seen on my Telegram, on Twitter, is I have seen that the Kaiiken community are extremely present. And they have got a game as well. Now, that game is extremely basic, but it shows you that they're trying to build upon just having a meme character. It is partnered alongside the likes of Shiba Inu. Because Shiba Inu is one of those 6 Japanese breeds. So this is essentially a derivative of Shiba Inu, if you think about it. It's within that class. Now, although dog meme coins, they're not necessarily the strongest, dogs are still kind of the number one, because let's face it, Doge, Bonk, Shiba Inu, they're dog coins, they're the top coins in cryptocurrency. So clearly the flavor is still there, even though the multipliers aren't necessarily. So it's got the appeal, but this is, more of a smaller market cap. So I believe that Kaiiken, under the right circumstances, these guys could do anything from 50 to 100x, 500x. Who knows? All depends on the marketing, right? But what I can say is they've got a strong community. They are very active. They're constantly making tweets, constantly making memes, lots of artwork on the Kaiiken. Trying to make it very, very like the Shiba Inu brand of the last cycle. So it's got that potential, right? It's not got a large hodler community at the moment, but that can be built upon. So I would say that, seriously, Kaiiken could do A 50x, it could do 100x. Retardio, this is a meme coin all about anti-wokeness, anti-current culture. It is taking the piss out of all the people on social media, all the people in the current climate, the current culture, that's kind of in support of all of these radical ideas, right? So Retardio pokes fun at that, right? That's what this is all about. So it's a community of people who are essentially disgruntled with the current system and thinks that everybody kind of at the moment in the world are retards, right? So that's what this is about. That's what this encapsulates. Now, Retardio is presently $17 million in market cap, right? With a $1 million volume, which is not very good at all, right? I get it, 100%, but I don't think many people do. I don't think people quite understand what this is getting at. And I think that is half the problem with Retardio, because when it comes to dog or cat or your traditional memes coins, they're more obvious. You kind of know what you're investing in, you know the character, and now you're just part of that community. Whereas this, I don't think an awful lot is known about Retardio. I found out about this because I researched it, but if I hadn't, I didn't really know what Retardio was about. I didn't know how there was a community forming around this. So, so as a result of that, I don't think this, even a small market cap that it is, 17 million, I don't necessarily think it's got huge upside. Again, it's one of Murad's coins. He speaks about it a lot. I would say this probably has 20x, just purely because it's a low market cap, but I don't think many people really understand it, and I think that's the problem. AS, I believe, is one of the highest potential, highest reward meme coins that exists out there today. It is a mere $2 million market cap. And what AS is about is clearly celebrating AS. Now, cryptocurrency is 95% men. And that's the reason why Tits was my #1 shout of all time. This did a 2100x. And basically, Tits mirrors AS, because AS and Tits is all about female anatomy for men, right? What do they prefer, Tits or AS? Now, Tits went to a $400 million market cap, and AS is 2 million. That means this has got 200x just to get to where Tits was, and I am personally an AS lover versus a Tits lover. And I don't know about you, but I think most men prefer AS over Tits. And as a result of that, the potential community size of this is gigantic. This has got 7,000 hodlers, and I have done the work on this. This has got a decent amount of 10k hodlers considering the size. What you've got to remember is when you've got a small market cap cryptocurrency, it's not going to have anywhere near as many holders as something like Pepe, Trump, or Fartcoin. These have got hundreds of thousands of hodlers. And as a result of that, there's going to be a lot of people that have got 10k or more, particularly because these are kind of seen as blue chip memes. And so people that invest in them have a lot of money. They're TradFi people, or they're very successful investors already. Whereas the people getting into AS really are not. The people getting into AS are likely going to be your regular investor. They've got a couple of hundred or so to put in. And that's why, as a result of that, this has got quite a high portion of 10k hodlers. It's got more than Trump. It's got more than Mew. It's up there. I've done a lot of analysis on tons and tons of small cap coins, and none of them have 10k hodlers. They've got hardly any. AS has got 27. So AS has got the stickiness, and it's got a very decentralized distribution as well. So this is evenly distributed compared to much bigger coins, less likely to be dumped on, and it also means that it's got a wider community as well, if you think about it. Because it's so evenly spread and decentralized, that means that there are just a huge number of smaller hodlers that are part of the community. And you only need to go into the AS Telegram group, just like with going into the All Will Retire Telegram group. They are very small, tight-knit cult communities. And the thing with AS is that they are building a lifestyle around this as well. Just like what you've got with GigaChad, you've also got these guys. They've also got kind of AS hats, AS t-shirts, AS hats. And I think that this particular cryptocurrency's got so much room to the upside, more than anything else. The The compatriot of this, Tits, got to 400 million. And that's really what you've got to think about here, is that this has got the potential to have the same exact run-up. Particularly because it also corresponds with kind of Murad's thesis. And I would say that AS is anything upwards from 100x. This one could actually really go even higher. Andy on base. So, I've spoken about Pepe, I've spoken about Brett. Andy is the next of the Boys Club members, okay? So, Andy is a best friend of Brett. Andy and Brett are inseparable. So therefore, they belong on the same chain, right? So they deserve to be roommates. Now, the artwork, the community of Andy is extremely strong. And Boys Club members have been very bullish in this entire market. Now, another reason why I believe, other than the fact this is a Pepe derivative, is the fact this is base chain as well. So you've got ETH, and you've got Solana that are the main players in memes. But you've got Base as a kind of third place meme infrastructure. At the moment, Brett is the key leader. You've also got Toshi there as well. And so there are a small amount of meme coins with a potential huge amount of money flow, right? So the concentration of money going into the small amount of memes on Base could mean Andy being the lowest market cap of them all. Look, 1.9 million. Now, at the height, this got to 40 million. And that was just last year in June, when there wasn't even a bull market. Because the bull market kind of happened between December 2023 and March 2024. And between October 2024 and January 2025. This reached a $40 million market cap outside of bull season. So I believe this one could really explode during the bull market, particularly because, again, people come through on Coinbase. This is one of the memes they're going to see on Coinbase, and as a result of that, this could just achieve a hell of a lot of money flow, a community, a compounded community as well, particularly because the artwork is fantastic, right? So people looking for a character that is related to the Boys Club, is related to Pepe, but whilst Pepe is well over $1 billion, you've got something like Andy at just over 1 million. So Andy has got all the potential to do a 100x, if not more, again. Right? So where Brett is right now is near 400 million market cap. That would be a 200x for Andy. Right? Now, where Brett is likely to go is likely to be around about $20 billion. Right? Which means that if Andy was even to get 10% of the way there, that would be 1,000x. Giga Chadette is the female counterpart of GigaChad. Alright, so what you've got here is the person that actually created the whole GigaChad image. So Giga Chadette is based on the photographer, Krista Sudmalis, a fitness photographer and the creator of the GigaChad phenomenon. Right, was behind the photo shoots of her own images and the creation of the digitally altered GigaChad. So she is the one that started this, and this is a meme coin really all about her, right? Now, again, going back to what Murad talks about, which is finding cults, subcultures, brands, movements. What we've got with Giga Chadette is the ultimate movement, all right? Because what we have in cryptocurrency, as I've already stated, is that, like the GigaChads, is 95% a male-dominated space. But when dumb money come in, and I'm not saying females are dumb money, but when people come in, the noobs come in, during the euphoria stage, there are going to be a ton of women. Now, meme coins are what's going to be attractive, I dare say, because it requires the least amount of understanding. Normies love memes, and so normies will gravitate to this during euphoria stage. Now, where is a safe space for females in cryptocurrency? There really isn't one. So what you've got here is the ultimate cult community for females, right? This is exactly, again, what Murad is talking about. A community where people feel safe, a community where people with like-minded individuals. Now, I'm not saying that women only want to be with other women. Maybe they don't. But what I'm saying is this is a space where other women probably facing the same kinds of perception as each other can be together and talk about it, right? And that is why I believe Giga Chadette is just as strong a potential community as Giga Chad. Now, Giga Chad is a potential multi-billion-dollar cryptocurrency, and Giga Chadette is a mere 241k at this stage. Now, this has got Leia Heilpern as one of their followers, as one of their evangelists. Now, Leia Heilpern is a gigantic influencer in cryptocurrency, a female influencer, 711,000 followers, and her videos get millions of views, right? And she has been one of the lead promoters of Giga Chadette since she found out about it. I believe that with her voice mixed with the combined voices of females in cryptocurrency, although a smaller percentage, a significantly smaller percentage than men, they themselves have only this particular meme coin to gravitate to if they want an all-female community, because they don't exist otherwise. And so that's why I think that Giga Chadette perfectly corresponds with the type of cryptocurrencies that Murad likes, and I think that it is the ultimate cult for women. And with a market cap of 250k, I would say this one has got 50 to 100x potential. I would say if it had a bigger market, this would easily 100x. Easily. Because think about it, this only has to go to 25 million to 100x. That's not difficult, if with a big enough community. Having said that, if there is a large community of women, that could easily bump up to 200x. And Giga Chadette is not just for women. It's also for men who love women, who love strong women as well. Popcat is seen as one of the main cat coins. So in the last bull cycle, we had the explosion of dog meme coins. In this bull cycle, we've seen the emergence of cats. We've seen cat in a dog's world, we've seen Mog, and we've also got here Popcat. So if we go and have a look at Popcat, it's basically just a funny website, right? Where all you do is you just click and it does these pop sounds, right? 3 billion pops have been done on this website, right? So just tons and tons of people have been coming here and they have been doing the pop sound on the Popcat. It's just purely a cat coin that's quite funny, that's creative, that's interactive in a way. It's more than just a still picture or just a cat caricature. This is it's actually got a distinctive look. Look, this is the Popcat look. This Popcat. When you see that. Right? And when you see that, you know exactly what Popcat is. Now, Popcat did reach a market high of near $2 billion, which would make it around about 7x from where it is right now. And I would say that just purely based on the fact that animals, and I would say arguably more people have cats than dogs, I would say, there's going to be a huge market for Popcat, right? So I would say that Popcat, as a result, has got the potential. If this was to get roughly to where Shiba Inu got to in the last cycle, this would actually be a 100x. I could actually see that, just purely because Popcat's very recognizable. Everybody knows Popcat. However, in the last market cycle, you only had Shiba. You didn't have many other dog coins, right? You had Doge, you had Shiba, right? Whereas in this market, you've also got Mog, you've got Mew, you've got Simon's cat. So it's not quite as empty a space as it was in the last market. I will say that Pop should be a safe-ish 20x. Mog, just like Popcat, is one of the main cat cryptocurrencies, and very similarly, this went to 1.5 billion, right? So roughly the same as where Popcat got to. And where it is right now is roughly 10x down from where it got to. So it's still got some very good room to the upside, particularly as it's gone down so much. Now, Memecoin, this is loved by many of the top people in crypto. It's loved by Murad, it's loved by Elio, it's loved by Alex. It's got a very schizo branding as well. Fits into animal coins and schizo coins, right? So what this means is that it's kind of like got very California-esque kind of lingo. The people that are within the community are very much that kind of person as well. So not only is it a cat-based coin, but the cult within that cat-based coin are very like-minded, kind of very cool, hipstery kind of people, right? So that's what gives it, again, a little bit of an edge. It's not just a cat coin. Shiba Inu, arguably, you would say, pretty much appeal to everybody. Whereas here, this one actually is a bit of a cult coin as well. It's very colourful. It's very likeable. It is a cat. People love cats. Lots of people have cats. I would say this one also has 20x potential from here. Now, Suppoman is my community. I didn't personally create this coin. It was a coin created by somebody in my community, And to be honest, I love it. And I think that this has got a lot of potential to the upside during the bull market, because I am personally going to help do a lot of work for this coin. I'm not going to say any more than that, because I don't want to kind of spoil it. But what I would say is that this is very much a cult. You know, I would say that if you're within the Suppo community, you are part of a cult community, because you're kind of wanting big multipliers. You want those degen coins. This is the type of profile of person that watches me. As a result of that, you are part of that community. And that community is represented by the Suppoman coin. From 141k market cap, 1.4 million would be a 10x, and a 14 million would be a 100x. So I am going to, for now, say that this one has got the potential for 100x, if not 1000x. But again, I'm not going to say any more than that, other than the fact that I think that this is really, again, and if you're watching me, you'll understand this, because you are the profile of the person that would be a Suppoman hodler. You are the person in the Suppoman community, and this is the access to it, as it were. So, therefore, I think that the Suppoman coin has exceptional upside potential. And that concludes today's Memecoin Super Cycle video. What was your favourite? What do you think has the most upside for multipliers? And if I haven't covered your favourite, what is your favourite? And what class of meme coin does it fall in? Till next time, people, I've been the Suppoman. You have been amazing. It is lights out, all out.